Shalom and welcome to Yeshiva B'nai Noach. I'm Tom Averna. This is the beginning biblical Hebrew course. As we continue with our exercises for chapter 21, the hollow verbs. Exercise 6 is on page 233, and the exercise, what they gave you is blank spaces, and you were to put in the correct verb form that were given under the spaces into the sentence, with the proviso or the added information that there might be more than one correct answer. So obviously the two possible answers would be a verb in the perfect tense or a verb in the imperfect tense, also possibly in the command form. But what we've done here is, what I've done here is to give you both the perfect and imperfect possibilities, and then we'll translate. So let's go ahead and read sentence 1. Aseret ha-banim havu lirot et shesh ha-banot ka-asher hein shatu yayin. So we have the 10 sons loved to see the 6 daughters when they drank wine. So in the imperfect or future tense, aseret ha-banim yehavu lereot et shesh ha-banot kasher hen yishtu yayin. So a word of note here. So again, translation would be the 10 sons will love to see the 6 daughters when they will drink wine. In your book, there is no imperfect tense in anything but the third person masculine. I couldn't. I tried to do a little bit of investigation. This seems to be what the voweling would be if it were in the imperfect tense. The reason the book doesn't give it apparently is because you won't see this very often or at all in biblical Hebrew. But at any rate, so the voweling may not be correct here, but that would be the one possibility in the imperfect tense. And of course, your infinitive isn't going to change in either tense. Number 2, atem zechartem lekum kasher ba'u tishat ha-nevaim. You remembered to arise or to get up when the 9 prophets came. Or atem tizkaru lachum kasher yavo tishat ha-nevaim. You will remember to get up when the 9 prophets will come. Number 3, avi met biroto et imi meta. So my father died on seeing, or when he saw, my mother died. In the imperfect tense, my father, avi yamut biroto et imi tamut. My father will die when he sees, I guess would be better in this case, when he sees my mother will die. Number 4, avoni היה לאכול מפרי העץ ולא לתת פרי לאחי. So my sin was to eat from the fruit of the tree and not to give fruit to my brother. Or, avoni yeye lechol mipri ha'etz velo latet pari la'achi. My sin will be to eat from the fruit of the tree and to not give, and to not give. Yes, I guess we didn't change that tense as the infinitive. To not give fruit to my brother. Number 5. Tavo machane ki ha'elohim yashuvu le'artzenu. So we begin here in the imperfect tense. You will come to the camp because the rams will return to our land. And imperfect tense, ba ta machane ki ha'elim shavu le'artzenu. So you came to the camp because the rams returned to our land. Number 6. Ani lo samti et kol hayayin b'machane v'shato shatiti oto rach im ishti. So I did not put all of the wine in the camp, and I really drank it. I really drank it only with my wife. Or ani lo asim et kol hayayin b'machane v'shato eshte oto rach im ishti. I did not, or I will not put all of the wine in the camp, and I will really drink it only with my wife. Number 7. HaKohanim saru mehar sha'im v'shavu le'mitzvot. So the priests turned aside from the evil ways, or maybe even the evil ones might be better, and returned to the commandments. Or HaKohanim yasuru me har sha'im Yashuvu la mitzvot. The priests will return. I'm sorry, not will. The priests will turn aside from their evil ways or from the evil ones, and they will return to the commandments. Number 8. Halo ata zakarta et avonot paro kol imei chayecha. Again, you have the question here, and this should actually be a question mark at the end, not a period. I think your book has a period here, but it should be a question mark because you have the question here. So at any rate, did you not remember the sins of Pharaoh all the days of your life? Or halo ata tizkor et avonot paro kol yimei chayecha. So will you not remember the sins of Pharaoh all the days of your life? Number 9. Al tishlach et Leah lematot ha-goyim saviv. So again, this would be the negative command, don't. The al always followed by the imperfect tense form, but you don't translate the pronoun. It's just don't send Leah to the tribes of the people round about. So in order to move this into a different tense, and to make it, we can do this in several ways actually, but to move this into a different tense, then we change the al to lo, because the al tells you you don't this is always going to be in the second person, but you don't translate that. But lo, and then you could say tishlechu, you could say for they, tishlechi for you masculine. I'm sorry, I said they. This is you masculine plural, or you feminine singular, or tishlach for you masculine singular. So you do not send Leah to the tribes of the people round about. Okay. Will not. I'm sorry, I said do not. Will not send. You will not send. Again, this is in the future. If we did and I guess we didn't do the perfect tense, which would be you did not send. So that would just be shalachta, shalachta, and shalach with lo. That would be your perfect tense. Okay. All right, moving now to exercise 7. Read and translate, and they also ask you to change the clipped form to the regular what the regular verb would be without the clipped form. Okay, so vayhi ba'et ha'chim malach paro ba'aretz, and it came. This is in the imperfect tense, but with the Vav conversive, we change it to the perfect tense. So, and it came to pass at that time. This by he is sort of that, and it came to pass format. In that time, Pharaoh ruled in the land. So you would say, if you were just using the past verb here, it would be haya. Haya. Actually, let's go ahead and put these up here. So there's the verb form here. So number 2, vaya'an vayomer ha'elim al yad ha'gevul. So, and he answered, and he said, the rams are near the border. So vaya'an would be ana. Vayomer would be amar. And he said. Number 3, vayiven mizbeach me'elech avanim, and he built an altar from 1,000 stones. Or you could say he built would be bana. Bana. Number 4, vayakam vayasar mishmonat hanvi'im har sha'im, and he arose, and he got up, and he turned aside from the 8 evil prophets. So vayakam would be kam in the perfect third person, and vayasar would be sar. It's not written here, but it would just be sar in the third person. Okay. Number 5, vayar et chayil hatzava vayal ha-hara. And he saw the strength of the army, and he went up toward the mountain. Or ra'a would be the perfect tense. Number 6, Vayash Yayin Tov Meod Vayesht Oto Im Ha Navi'i. So, and he made very good wine, and he drank it with the prophet. And we can deduce who the prophet was by the fact that he made very good wine, because we know the answer to this question. If you're familiar with a group called Three Dog Night, they wrote a song about this, and it was Jeremiah was a bullfrog. So Jeremiah was a prophet there that made very good wine, and he was a very good friend of mine. Okay, anyway, enough song trivia. Number 7, and Asa, we have the for that, and to and drank is shata. Number 7, Vayashav Yitzchak le'aviv vayasem bo et charvo vayama aviv. So, and Isaac returned and he put Isaac returned to his father, and he put his sword, and he put his sword in. This is kind of convoluted. And he put his sword in him. So in him, and his father died. Let's do that one more time. And Isaac returned to his father, and he put his sword in him, and his father died. Okay. So we're going to do this a little differently. We're not going to exercise 8 until the next video. Again, trying to keep these a little shorter. Exercise 9 then are the biblical quotes, so we'll go through those, which we don't always get time to do. And then next video will be exercise 8, and we'll go through that, the substitution exercises. So, and the beautiful thing about this is we go through this, just notice, and hopefully you've done this ahead of time, notice that we are now translating Scripture. And with very little help. They give you a few words here. Some of the words we could probably figure out without their help, but they give you a few words here. But it helps that you probably know these scriptures. They're pretty common, pretty well known. But again, just note to yourself that you are fairly able to know. So again, we have here vayetzar, and we're told that means commanded. So our verb is commanded. Again, we know that this is a vav conversive, so the future tense of yitzar, the future tense of tsar would be yetzar, and he will command. But this is, and God, Adonai Elohim, and the Lord God commanded upon the man, or commanded the man, saying, from all of the trees, from all the tree is literally the translation. So, or from every tree might be a better way to do that. From every tree in the garden, um, you may, again, future imperfect tense here, you may really eat or certainly eat, but, and remember your conjunction and can also be translated as but from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall not eat from it, because on the day that you eat from it, you will surely die, or you will certainly die. So again, the one translation reads, Adonai Elohim commanded the man, saying, you may certainly eat from every tree in the garden, but from the tree of the knowledge of what is good and evil you shall not eat from it, for on the day you eat from it, you will certainly die. So again, Genesis 2:16-17. I would believe that all of you are able at this point to read this with a little bit of help, and understand what it's saying, and also understand that there are some things here um, that might stand out to you. So why the emphasis verb here? Surely or certainly die, and the same thing with what do we have? Achol te'ochel, really eat. Okay, so these verbs of emphasis are to emphasize these commands. In addition to, and this is something to just again a little bit of as we talk about this verse, to ask yourself questions, and we've talked about this in studying Torah. You see something and ask yourself why, or if you have a question about it, and then see if you can find commentary that will answer that question. But for instance, one of the questions that might come from this is, this command was given, and we know that Adam transgressed the command, and yet he lived for another 900 and some years after that happened. He lived to be 930 years old. So but this emphasizes that no, you're going to die on the day that you eat of it. So what do we make of that? Is God a liar? Of course, we know he's not. So how do we look at this? So this is one of the verses where the rabbis look to Psalms, where it says a day in the Lord is as 1,000 years. And we get another hint or clue that that's true, that the Lord's day is 1,000 years, which is why we get the 6 days and equaling 6,000 years of time, which we're real close to the end of now. So Mashiach should be coming soon. But this is one of the ways that we know that, because Adam did indeed die before he turned 1,000, which would have been one day. So he died on the day of his eating of the fruit. So again, some interesting things, but you might just ask that question if you didn't know that, and then look around, check different sources, and see if you can find a reason for that. So, okay. Second quote, Vayomer Adonai el Cain el hevel ahicha. Vayomer lo yadati ha-shomer achi anochi. Vayomer me asita kol deme achicha. Tzivachim elei min ha-adama. So, Adonai said to Cain, where, another, a foe is also another word for where, but a would be kind of the abbreviated version of it. Where where is your brother Hevel? Which, of course, in English we say Abel, Cain and Abel. And just again, kind of a quick note, the segolets, the double segols, oftentimes have an origin vowel of a patak. So if we have the patak rather than the segol, this would be ha bul. If we don't pronounce this as a V, habel, or able. Is where we get the English from, of course, incorrectly. The name is Hevel, or Havel even. So again, that was a question. Where is your brother Abel? And he said, he being Cain, he said, I don't know. I don't know. And then the famous line, here's the questioning hey here. Am I my brother's guard or keeper? And then he said, and he here being Hashem said to Cain, Ma, or Meh, what have you done? The voice of the blood of your brother's voice, the blood of your brother's voice, shouts to me or cries out to me from the ground. Okay, so again, pretty much you're able to translate this with the vocabulary you already have with a little bit of help. One translation here says, Adonai then said to Cain, where is your brother Hevel? Cain said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? He said to Cain, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Genesis 4:9-10. And another verse then from Joshua 1, verses 1 and 2. Vayehi acharei mot Moshe Eved Adonai ve'omer Adonai el Yahushua ben Nun lemor Moshe avdei met ve'ata kum avor et hayarden hazeh ata ve'kol ha'am Hazeh el haaretz asher anochi noten lechem livnei Yisrael. So, and it came to pass after the death of the servant or slave of God, Moses, God said to Joshua ben Nun, son of Nun, saying, my servant Moses is dead, and you will arise, or you will go across the Jordan, or across this Jordan, the Jordan. You or you and all the people, and you and all this people, to the land that I am giving to them, to the sons of Israel, to the children of Israel. Okay, so the translation could be, after the death of Moses, the servant of God, God said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses, attendant, my servant Moses is dead. Prepare to cross the Jordan together with all this people into the land that I am giving you, that I am giving to the Israelites. So, giving to them, the children of Israel. So, again, a few things here into the land. But once again, most of this should have been fairly easy to translate. And our last quote from Deuteronomy 34:10, Velo kam navim od beYisrael kimoshe asher yada'o Adonai panim el panim. Very famous line here. And there has not arisen a prophet, or there's not ever arisen a prophet in Israel like Moses, whom Adonai knew panim el panim, face to face. And pretty much what we just said. Deuteronomy 34:10. So again, just be aware that you are now at a place where you can open your Torah and have a fairly good idea of what's being said, just with the very limited vocabulary that you have. And again, we'll be looking at other verb tenses coming up that will kind of fill in any blanks as far as tenses go. But generally speaking, your perfect, imperfect tenses are going to be your main ones that you'll run across. So again, feel good about that. So we're going to end this video here, and then in the next video we will look at exercise 8, which is the substitution exercise. And then the last video will look at Tall Tales as we take a look at Jack and the Beanstalk in the Tall Tales coming up. So all of that just ahead. Thanks for sharing this time with me. I'm Tom Averna. This is the first Hebrew primer on Yeshiva B'nai Noach. Shalom.